Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. How is it going on a Friday?
Yeah, we're live. Indeed, we are.
Friday.
How's everyone doing out there? It's a beautiful day here in Virginia Beach. My name is John Gardner. This is my law partner and wife, Radlyn Mendoza.
Hey, guys.
We're the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. Our office is located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, here on the East Coast of the United States. However, we do have clients all over the country. We have clients all over the world. And we have been doing immigration law now for 23
going
years.
on 23.
Going on 23 years. So we come to you every Friday from noon to 1, and we come to give you immigration updates and mostly to answer your questions. So if you have an immigration question, go ahead and get it loaded up. We will wait a minute to let everybody get those questions going. I also want to say hi to everybody over here on TikTok. For those of you on Facebook, I'll be looking over here a lot. That's not me just staring off into the Chesapeake Bay, although that's tempting because it's absolutely beautiful. But that's me just monitoring the TikTok questions coming in here. All right.
And I hope everyone in Hampton Roads, as well as our friends in New York and everywhere, actually, because the air quality is really bad due to the fires in Canada. I hope everyone is staying safe and okay from all that.
Yeah, stay indoors.
Stay indoors.
Stay indoors if you can. I also want to say hi, in case they're watching. My mom and my nephew usually join us. So, Mom and Daniel, if you're out there, hello.
Hey guys, yeah, it's a bright and sunny Friday. It just hits differently, right? When it's nice and warm. Yeah. But did we talk about the?
Well, before I get to that, let me give the disclaimer real fast, okay? I do want to warn you that what we do here is for entertainment.
And educational. I would lead with informational, educational.
I've switched it out. It's for entertainment, information, and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay. So if you have a question, certainly we will try to answer it. But we're dealing with a very limited snippet of information. And so it's really just a hypothetical. We're giving you a general, vague answer of what we think. However, if you really want us to analyze it and give you legal advice, then you will need to hire us to represent you. And you can start by scheduling a consultation with our office. All right. So if you're out there and you're in a position where you're ready to hire a lawyer to help you with your immigration case, please give us a call and reach out to us, and we'd be happy to help you out. Let me give that information real quick. Our phone number is 757-464-9224, or you can email us info@gmlaw.net. All right. So.
All right. We've got some questions teed up here.
Got some questions
on
going.
TikTok. And one of the first questions that I saw is, do you offer free consultations? And the answer to that question is no, we do not offer free consultations. We charge for our consultations. We offer consultations for up to an hour. It usually lasts 45 minutes to an hour. And all of our consultations are done virtually. And during that consultation, we will basically find out exactly what's going on in your immigration story and hopefully be able to help you and find solutions for how we can move forward with your immigration case. So our fee is $295 for a consultation. If we can help you and we can move forward, then and you want to retain us, then we apply that $295 towards your legal fees as a credit. So if you hire us, I guess you can say it's like having a free consultation because it is getting credited to your legal fees. Hopefully that answers your questions. If you have any more follow-up questions about that, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, and for those of you who were with us last week, I just wanted to report back that the Cuban sandwich was fantastic.
That's right. It was really good. Last week we featured the Carib Shack as our business, our lunch, because this is lunch. It is lunchtime. So for those of you joining us, hopefully you're having lunch as well.
All right. Well, we do have some questions starting to fill up, so we can start to get those in a minute. But before we do that, because we like to let them load up for a minute, I did want to mention some big, exciting news for those of you who are soccer or football fans. You probably saw that Messi is coming to Miami. Yes.
To the Major League Soccer. That is pretty exciting. I love watching soccer. I love soccer as a spectator sport. I know some people don't because there are no breaks and you can't like stop to get a beer or whatever. But I love watching soccer. It's just so exciting and fun. And if you guys saw the World Cup and Messi and Argentina taking the World Cup title, amazing. So such a great game.
Yeah, and many consider him to be the greatest of all time. Even I know the Pele folks out there take issue with that.
Yeah, the Brazilians like, I don't think so.
But in any event, for Messi to come to Miami to play for Major League Soccer, to come to the United States to play, is a really huge lift for the sport. And so it's super exciting. And it has an immigration twist that we wanted to just flesh out very briefly.
Yeah, John and I, it was exciting that Messi's coming to the U.S., but the next follow-up question is like, I wonder what kind of visa he's going to be here on, right?
Well, he doesn't need anything. He's Argentinian, and I think he has.
He can just come in and play.
Spain. I think he just shows up right at the airport, and that's it.
He can show up on his private jet and walk right in. No, that is not true.
Right?
Somebody behind the scenes, if Messi is not a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen, I don't think that he is working on his visa and what that's going to look like. And so there are a couple of things that kind of popped out in my mind is he could potentially get a P visa. And we've done P visas before. We don't do them a lot, but it is for people who are coming to the United States for things like athletic events and to perform, like in circuses the circuses are no longer here.
That's right.
We don't have circuses anymore, but things of that nature, art, entertainment, sports. I used to do P visas for polo players a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a possibility. I mean, that's a non-immigrant visa. And what does that look like? I mean, he could come in for the times that he's got the games, go back. He could take an extra added measure because I think he's also investing in the team of, applying as a permanent resident under the EB-1, which is part of the EB-1 includes a person of extraordinary ability. And he certainly is a person of extraordinary ability. I don't think there would be any question about that, but we would still have to put a case together, right, for Messi to get this particular visa. So I think, I think that there are different ways that he could immigrate, and who knows, he could already be a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen, but don't think that he is. So it was very, very interesting. And we like talking about the sports aspect of it as well as the immigration aspect of it.
That's right. So Lionel, if you're watching right now, you can reach out to us 757-464-9224, or you can just shoot us an email, info@gmlaw.net, and we will get back to you and get you started on that process to coming over to Miami to play for Inter Miami FC. Looking forward to hearing from you, Mr. Messi.
All right. I think we've got a question over there. We've got the TikTokers have been loading up their questions.
Yes, they have.
And so we're going to grab a couple of them.
They're on it. Okay. First question we had here was from Roses. My mom with a green card would get my sister at 20 years old single. How long would it take?
So the question is, well, I guess it depends on whether mom has a green card. It says it right there. So we would look to the visa bulletin, right? And looking at the June 2023 visa bulletin, your sister would fall under the daughter of a lawful permanent resident. And right now, the visa bulletin is current for that category under the dates for filing. But the question really is, how long is the I-130 petition going to take? And the I-130 petition can take anywhere from 2 to 3 years for USCIS to approve. So what will happen is if mom has not filed that I-130 petition yet, your sister, of course, is going to age out and she's going to bump into the F2B category, which is a pretty long waiting period, depending on what country your sister is from. So it really all depends. The bottom line in this question that I want to kind of put forth here is that mom should file that I-130 petition as soon as possible. And there is a possibility that even though it is taking 2 to 3 years, and that your sister could still be eligible under the F2A category if the Child Status Protection Act applies to her. I'm not going to get into that just because it's very technical. But bottom line is, if mom can apply, she should apply as soon as possible just to kind of get the ball rolling and get a priority date. And number two is that if mom can apply for U.S. citizenship, she should, if that can get done. I mean, it's unlikely that it would get done before your sister turns 21. It's possible, but if she can get that naturalization certificate, and prior to your sister turning 21, she can lock that age in if she files as a U.S. citizen. And again, I don't know how long your mom has been a U.S. citizen, permanent resident. Have no idea whether she would even be eligible for citizenship right now. But this is a great question, and as you guys can see, it opens up a whole lot of other issues that we may be able to go in different areas. So my recommendation, of course, is to give us a call and schedule a consultation with us. We can certainly help in trying to figure this out with you and finding a solution that's best for your sister. Great question, though.
Okay.
All right. So we have a couple of other.
Hope that helps.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps. On TikTok, you guys can go to the link in the bio and our contact information is there. But you can also give our office a call at 757-464-9224, or send us a message or put a comment and we'll reach out to you. All right.
Okay. You want to grab one over there?
Yeah. Francesca's question is, how long is the process for the marriage-based green card? It does depend on what city you're in. So we should probably go over how to check USCIS processing times, which we do every week on how to check USCIS processing time. So Francesca, let's just say you are in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is, we're located here. But as John mentioned, we help people all around the world and in all 50 states. But let's just say that you are in Virginia Beach, Virginia. You would basically, you can Google USCIS processing times, put in the form number I-485, and then put in family-based immigration in the next little bar that you see there. And then the next bar that you see is going to ask you to choose which office, and then you would scroll down to Norfolk, Virginia, which is where your case would go if you lived in Virginia Beach. And right now, Norfolk is processing marriage-based green card cases in 19 months from filing. So every field office has a different time. I just did one for Boston. It's 18 and a half months. I just did that one yesterday for a client. So that's how you check processing times. And hopefully that helps, Francesca, and answers your question. But again, it really just depends on where you are. Some jurisdictions are faster, some are slower.
All right.
Okay.
Good question. Okay, Lisa over here on TikTok. There's several parts to this. I put it all together here. Child was born in the United States. All right. And her husband is a U.S. veteran, but then she and her husband went back to the Philippines when the child was 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
All right. While they were in the Philippines, the child's grandfather, the woman's father, got sick.
Okay.
All right. And so they stayed in the Philippines.
Okay.
And what she wants to know is whether her 1 year old daughter can still get her citizenship since she was born in the U.S., even though she left when she was 1 and hasn't been back.
Yes. Answer is yes.
Answer is yes.
Child was born in the United States.
Child was born in the
So
United
child
States.
is a U.S. citizen at birth. She's born in the U.S. So you have your child's birth certificate, the child's U.S. birth certificate, and passport. So yeah, absolutely.
Great. Okay. And if you need help with that, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you. Okay.
Yep. And the question, my follow-up question is, what about mom? Is mom a U.S. citizen as well? Did mom leave on a green card? Did she file a re-entry permit to? I mean, these are all just follow-up questions that she didn't ask, but I'm just curious. Okay, Rocio has a question here. She says, sorry, I paid the fee and your team could not provide any information with you. You may be still interested in my immigration case. Rocio, I'm not familiar with that. And it sounds like maybe we didn't schedule an appointment with you, but reach out to my team again. I'm happy to take a look at it and just let them know. And I'm happy to see, where maybe you had a set of facts that we weren't able to help with. So we do get a lot of inquiries and people who contact us for a consultation, but we don't take every case and every person that comes in, called in for a consultation. If it's more of an informational based type consultation, we don't do informational based consultations any longer. That's kind of what our website, our live stream is for, so we can answer those types of questions. You can also join our Live Love Immigration Facebook page, and Rhea can put it up there. Hi, Rhea. She's our social media assistant and really wears many hats in the law firm, but she'll post it up in the comments. But if that was the case, Rocio, and it may have been an informational type question, we're not handling those types of cases. But if they didn't give you consultation and you did pay the fee, you should definitely be getting a refund.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add there. Just from a business,
just want to make sure. Yeah.
If you pay for a consultation and for some reason it doesn't happen, then obviously the consultation fee is refunded.
Yeah. Now, if you have a consultation with us or one of our attorneys and it turns out that we could not help you, that would not be a refund situation.
Yeah.
So, all right. Rocio, thanks for coming to our live and putting that in the comment. Certainly reach out if any of these things that we've talked about applies to you.
Yeah, and you mentioned Rhea. Rhea's burning the midnight oil over there.
That's right.
In an undisclosed location in the southern Philippines islands. All right. Let's see here.
We've got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
It is sometimes hard to see.
Okay, Lisa says, my brother is on an H-1 visa while my mom and I are citizens here. We started a petition for him early 2000s. Is it still valid?
So the question, is it still valid? We would have to take a look to make sure that, who filed for your brother. Was it you? If it was you and you're the sibling, and if it was 2000s, perhaps the priority date has not even been reached yet. But we'd have to take a look at that, inquire with the National Visa Center. You could also do these things too, to see whether that petition is still, we're able to still use that petition in order for your brother to take the next step and file for lawful permanent residency. It's certainly worth whatever any immigration lawyer, good immigration lawyer, knowledgeable immigration lawyer charges to figure that out, because that is a big, big deal. I love finding an I-130 petition that we can still use. Recently did it with somebody here on an H-2B visa. And this petition that his mom filed for him was current when he was here. And so, they just kind of like dropped the ball in the emailing, with the NVC, and we were able to revive that. And he's on his way to become a lawful permanent resident. And, again, came here on an H-2B visa, which is temporary. It's, it's seasonal. It's very, very, very temporary. And nothing permanent. And we were super excited to discover that, yes, this I-130 petition filed years back was still valid, even though they had missed National Visa Center notifications to come and apply for the visa and pay the visa fees. So there is definitely still hope for your brother, and it's well worth any amount of money for a consultation to figure that out. All right. Hopefully that helps. I don't feel passionately about that at all.
Yeah, you seem,
no, we
you
just
seem
get
uninterested.
we just get it. I just get excited when there's something that was filed, because we like to say, what, just file the case, right?
Yeah.
File the case, and one day it's going to be current. Now, if mom filed the case, you know, it just depends. We'd have to take a look at the visa bulletin, and we'd have to inquire with the National Visa Center and even the USCIS to figure that out, or even do a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request to find out what's going on, if anything, with the case.
Yeah.
So call us.
It's like when you're building and you feel when you find out that you're exempt from all the current permitting requirements because the structure is grandfathered under some old law, and you're like, yes.
Or you take your grandfather clock to like an antique show and you find out it's worth $1 million.
that too.
Right? Just
that
like these things that can change the course of, what do you say? Is it so dramatic to say the course of your life? No, it's really not. If you win $1 million because your grandfather clock that you thought was a piece of junk is worth $1 million, that can change the course of your life for the good, or for better, for worse. But if brother can get his green card and not have to worry about employment-based visa application and talking to his employer about that, then that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I lost track. Are we over here? Are we on Facebook?
I think that we are here. Johnny has a question. Can the joint sponsor hold the burden of domicile if they're willing to allow us to live with them until we are able to find a lease, since we both live overseas? So this is a domicile question about the affidavit of support. The general rule is that the U.S. citizen petitioner must be domiciled in the United States in order to, submit that affidavit of support and do that petition. That's a good question.
And for those of you who are not familiar with the term, it's basically where you're like physically living, where you're located.
Right. And where and I have not visited this issue for a really long time. I bet you our attorneys have, but the last time I visited this the rule was that you have to have the intent to be domiciled in the United States, but it definitely is an issue. So I can't really answer your question. I don't know what the answer is and whether that's going to be sufficient in order for them to say, yes, you are domiciled in the United States, and therefore we're going to allow this petition to go forward.
Yeah, it's actually a clever question because it has a clever concept embedded in it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a gut that it'll be okay, but again, this is not legal advice. I would have to do some additional research to see what the state of the law is. I'm not up on the state of the law of domiciliary issues with the affidavit of support, but they are issues. All right.
Okay. So jumping back to
TikTok.
Yeah, we've seen this question before from time to time. She says, "Hi, I'm not sure which. My spouse did not add my kid when he filed for me, and I have my green card now. Can I file for my kids?"
So this is a question that comes up a lot. And the first question I have here, kind of a follow-up question, is, did the spouse not add the kids on the application, or did the spouse just not file for the children? I mean, those are two different things. Let's just say that spouse, just for whatever reason, when your spouse filed for you, they And let's also just say that spouse filed for you by filing the I-130 petition, the petition for alien relative. Of course, on that application is, list the beneficiary's children. If your spouse didn't put the children on the application, and you come back and file for them, is it going to be an issue? Well, possibly, because why were the children not listed? And does it go to the could that information have impacted your ability to get your immigrant visa petition? So it goes to the issue of, when you left that information out, you made a misrepresentation, right? And it goes to, was that a material misrepresentation? And material misrepresentation essentially means, does it have the ability to impact the immigration officer's decision to grant or deny that visa? So there's a lot going on here. And it also depends on, what are we doing afterwards? When you went to your consular interview, did you also leave the children off of your application? And really, why? Why would you do that? Now, we've argued that it's not material. And there's a lot going on here. So I would reach out, let us help you with those filings. Absolutely. Because it could be a problem, depending on why and whether it was a material misrepresentation. All right. That really kind of got a little legal technical, but sorry, guys.
That's all right. It happens.
That's the issue, though. The issue is the misrepresentation material? All right. Let's see here. We have Kathleen. Kathleen says, that's pretty.
Yeah. Where
is that, Kathleen? Where is that photograph taken? You have to let us know before we can answer your question.
That's
okay. Beautiful. Just kidding. How long is the process for a daughter who is 30 years old, single, whose mom is a permanent resident for 4 years? Number one, just file the petition, okay? And get your priority date. Looking at the visa bulletin for June 2023. Now, let me see here. June 2023. So daughter would fall under the F2B category. The son or daughter, unmarried son or daughter of a lawful permanent resident. And let's see, do we see the country here? I don't know what country, but let's just guess Philippines. Right now, that petition, a visa would become available for that petition in about 9.5 years, which is why I'm saying to go ahead and file that I-130 petition, because it is taking a long time. Now, what do people do when they hear 9.5 years, or they hear 19 years for siblings or 21 years for siblings live in Mexico? What do people normally do?
Normally people close their, oh, that's going to take forever. You know what? I'm going to just go do something else now. I'll come back to this later.
Yeah.
Then they come back to it a month later and they think, 9.5 years, that's forever. There must be something else. Then 2 years later, they come back to it and think, maybe I should get this thing started.
Yeah.
And then they've lost those 2 years.
They lose more than that sometimes, okay. Right? I mean,
and sometimes more. That's right. And so that's the message we give you every week, which is, get it filed, because the sooner it's filed, that's the date. The sooner it's filed, the sooner it's done.
Yep.
That's your place in the line. The water's never going to boil if you don't turn on the burner. All right.
Oh, I like that analogy.
You've got to get it started if you want it to get finished. All right.
Is that an analogy or a metaphor? Is Jill watching?
That's right. We need my Aunt Jill. Aunt Jill, if you're watching, can you?
Could it be both? Could it be both? Possibly. All right. So Kathleen, little follow up answer to your question you didn't ask. If you become a U.S. citizen, let's see here, because you've been a permanent resident for 4 years, and you can become a U.S. citizen possibly now if you got your citizenship through a U.S. citizen spouse, and your spouse has been anyway. We won't go into that, but generally speaking, it's what's 15 plus? It's 8 years. It's 8 years, so it's not too much more, but your daughter, she's 30. I don't know what her plans for getting married or anything like that is concerned, but of course, as a permanent resident, your daughter has to stay single. Once she gets married, you would not be able to petition for her any longer. And if she got married while that petition was processing, then it would no longer be valid because the F2B category is only for the unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of lawful permanent residents. Now, if you became a citizen and your daughter got married, again, we're talking a long time here. I mean, it's a 20-year waiting period. But if you file that petition as a citizen, whatever date that you file that, whether she gets married or not, then you will be able to use that same priority date. And those years that you were waiting while she was unmarried would still count towards that that third preference category as a married daughter of a U.S. citizen. So I hope that makes sense. I know you're probably thinking, wow, that's a really long time. John and I definitely acknowledge that is a really long time.
Yeah.
But you got to get it started. That's the only way forward if your daughter wants to immigrate here. I mean, she may have other options. I mean, she may have employment-based options, but if she doesn't, then just file the petition.
That's right. The only way to finish anything is to start it.
Yep. We're just saying stuff that you guys already know. You probably want to smack us through the to the camera, right? Like, shut up. Let's move on to the next question. All right.
Okay, we have one here. Again, we're back to these. We have a lot of these questions, understandably. Luis says, I'm F2B, August 2012 priority. I got the 6 steps approved and been waiting for the interview like 1 year. How long I have to keep waiting for an interview in Guatemala? So this was an F2B, August 2012, a priority date. He's waiting.
Okay, so F2B, August 2012 priority date. Sorry, where are they from? Guatemala?
Guatemala.
Okay, let's look at the visa bulletin, guys. I wish I could show you the screen.
Back to the bulletin.
Back to the visa bulletin. It's been Visa Bulletin Day, which is great because, it's June and it's June 2023 Visa Bulletin. So Guatemala is going to fall under all chargeability areas. All other countries other than China, India, Mexico, and the Philippines. And okay, the priority date here, guys, this is how it works. The priority date is August of 2012, and they're processing cases filed on or before January 1st of 2017. So I'm confused as to why this has taken so long for you to, unless it's been kind of sitting at the National Visa Center for a long time. I mean, honestly, Luis, I mean, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully everything's going okay because the priority date is definitely current.
Right. The visa bulletin is telling us that you shouldn't still be.
Yeah. I mean,
right
there's a huge backlog, guys, with waiting for interviews. After your case is documentarily qualified at the National Visa Center. I think probably something must have happened. Like maybe there was a gap here when you guys weren't necessarily moving forward with the case, but also the visa bulletin may have drastically changed. It hasn't, but possibly. So, Luis, if you want us to look into that for you and just make sure everything is going in the right direction, feel free to reach out to us. I mean, it sounds like you've finished a bunch of steps and you're moving forward. And I hope that you get an interview soon. But again, it is quite backlogged, but it's not that backlogged. All right. Rosia says, thanks. Hello, Stephen. I'm going to see here. I love this question. G says, how long do you usually get approved by marriage visa? Again, it depends on whether you're in the United States or outside of the United States. If you're outside of the United States and your petitioner is a U.S. citizen, it can take a couple of years. If you're in the U.S., also a couple of years. Does having an immigration lawyer make the process easier or faster? So the answer is yes on both fronts. Having an immigration lawyer is going to make this process so much easier for you guys, right? I mean, kind of like having a tax attorney or a CPA, a tax attorney doing your taxes and working out all of your issues with your taxes and filing your taxes and just making sure you're up and up with the IRS. So in that sense, we are professionals, right? This is what we do. This is actually what we've done for our whole careers of 23 plus years of being attorneys. So does it make it easier? Yes. We take the burden right off of your shoulders, just like all professionals should be doing for you that you hire and that you retain. The question here, does it make it faster? Now, I just want to be clear to everybody that just because I put lawyer filed this on my I-130 petition or, whatever it is, doesn't mean that immigration is just going to be like, oh, a lawyer filed this. Let's put this application in the front of the line. If any lawyer tells you that that is the case, that is not true. I wish it were true. That would be amazing. I'd probably be retired by now and could probably, charge a lot more than we do. But it does make it faster in the sense that we're not making the same mistakes that some self-filers make on their applications. Not all. Some people, can do it and they've done it. But it does make it faster in that sense that we're professionals, we're attorneys. We've been doing this for many, many years. And we know how to do it, right? I mean, if it were like, hey, if you were a nurse and I went into the hospital room, it's like, hey, nurse, I don't know how to do the intubation that you're going to do. Is it going to be easier and faster if you nurse do it or if I do it, the non-nurse? Well, we already know what the answer to that question is. So same concept, G, but I love the question. We get it sometimes. And as you can see, I love to answer it.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm going to just grab this question because
Sure.
Lakeisha says she's at the airport waiting for her fiance to come in. That is so exciting. Congratulations. That's awesome. She
wants to thank us.
And she's here, right? She's here at the airport listening to her live.
For all our non-legal advice. I love that.
And Lakeisha, we want to thank you for being just a supporter of our live stream and coming on here and asking the questions. And so this is very exciting. And I hope so much success to you and your husband to be. Within 90 days. Lakeisha's going to have to get married. Not have to, but she's also going to want to get married. So exciting. And I know that you guys are going to take a lot of pictures for that marriage-based green card as well as the I-751. That's an inside joke, guys. But anyway, I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Good stuff.
Yep.
All right. So we had a little issue on TikTok here, folks. On TikTok, those of you on TikTok, when someone loads their question like 50 times in a row, it pushes all the old questions off, and then I can't get them again because we can only have so many loaded at one time. So I super apologize to those who got here first, whose questions are now gone.
Boo.
And I would ask everyone joining on TikTok to please not do that, just to put your question one time. We're just going in order, just like the immigration cases are processed. First in is what we get to first. And so, but I do know just from memory, the next question that we were coming to, whoever it was, he was asking if he still needs to file an I-130 if he brought his wife here, fiance on a K-1. He'd gone through the fiance visa process and wanted to know when she's here, then what he still needs to do.
No I-130.
That was the question.
I'm so glad you remember that question. So that's
Well,
such a great question.
It was in my mind, and then it blipped away because it all.
Do you remember the name of the person?
I don't remember the name of the person. Sorry, but I know your question was next, and so the answer is.
The answer is no I-130. And what to do next, Lakeisha?
No I-130.
Listen, I know you're holding up a sign for your fiance, but you might want to listen up. Okay.
Yeah, just lay the flowers down for a second.
Yeah, just put the sign down. But no, you don't have to file the I-130 if your fiance is coming in on the fiance visa, but you do have to do the adjustment of status process, which is filing the green card application. And well, first, number one, sorry, I missed a very critical step, and that is within the first 90 days, get married, right? So file the green card application along with the supporting documents. With the green card application, you can file the application for work authorization, as well as the advanced parole application, which allow your now spouse to travel outside of the United States while this process is pending. And you also have to file the affidavit of support, which is the I-864. And again, all of the supporting documents. So those who are coming in on the fiance visa, no I-130, got to go through the whole adjustment of status process. It is not over. It's far from being over. But good luck. And if you need help, we're happy to help you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about Lakeisha. I'm just picturing it. Is it the A-Con course or the B-Con course?
But where? Like maybe she drove to DC or
that's
like where
where
is he? Is he coming in through Norfolk?
She may not be at the Norfolk airport. You bring up a good
Lakeisha,
point.
you should have told us. We would have gone to the airport and welcomed him.
Oh, we could have done the Facebook Live from the Norfolk airport.
Live with one of our loyal followers. Anyhow.
All right. Kay over here wants to know, she says, I'm currently an au pair on a J1 visa, and I don't know how to stay legally after my program.
It's hard.
It's hard, Kay.
It's tough. I mean, there is a misconception that there's a work visa in the United States where you can just come in on any non-immigrant visa, such as a tourist visa, a J1, and just file some application, and then you'll be able to work. It's just not. This unfortunately does not work that way. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, it's generally very challenging to find a what we call we call it a remedy. Maybe we shouldn't call it a remedy, but we call it a remedy. A remedy for people on a something like a J1 or a B1, B2, because they want to stay, and typically they want to continue working. I mean, if you want to change your status to a F1, you can do that from J1, and generally speaking, but there are not a lot of avenues for just going right to work while you're able to actually still remain in the United States.
Right.
The
J was specifically designed to sort of be this cultural work exchange visa. And so the concept is to learn about things and then head back. There are some things that could happen that could intervene. For example, if you were to fall in love and marry a U.S. citizen while you happen to be here on the J1, that would be a situation where you would have an avenue.
Right. But
obviously,
yeah.
You can't get married for immigration purposes. That would be illegal, of course. But if it's a real marriage, a legitimate marriage, then yeah.
Right. If it's a bona fide marriage, not for immigration purposes.
Bona fide.
John he's such a romantic. He always says fall in love. And I always say, what's love got to do with it? Just kidding. I'm kidding. Love has everything to do with it.
Well, actually that's true. I mean,
it could be about money,
I have defended marriage fraud cases where U.S. attorneys made a big deal about the love portion. And then on cross-examination, all the immigration officers said, well, that's not really necessary. And so we had some success there.
Love is subjective.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's see some objective measures of a bona fide marriage and a relationship, you know?
I'll never forget. I don't want to get sidetracked, but I remember one time a U.S. attorney in Northern Virginia kept asking if the friends of the couple had ever seen them holding hands, as if that was something that would definitely show it was a real marriage. I mean, every bona fide marriage has hand holding.
Right. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're in a bona fide marriage and relationship.
Right. And we seldom hold hands.
That's not true.
I mean, we do.
Wow, you're making it sound like
we're
there's
arm
just
in
no
arm, but hand holding is not like one of our go-tos.
Well, we don't have wedding bands.
Okay. Moving on.
Well, that's actually something that John said in your closing argument. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we won the marriage fraud case.
Yeah.
I think it was the wedding band. The fact that you yourself you're not wearing a wedding band, but
That's
you're
right.
married with 3 kids.
That was a case. That was not the Northern Virginia case. That was a different case.
Different case.
In Norfolk.
Love that case.
Where there was
winning.
The wedding, there was no wedding band, and that was the big thing that they were really focusing on. And I pointed out that I don't wear a wedding band. My father never wore a wedding band. So, and he was. It's
a hazard.
In a bona fide marriage, obviously.
Obviously. All right, let me grab a question over here.
I mean, I came from the marriage, so that's children typically are a sign of a bona fide marriage.
Hey, I want to talk about this really quickly. So, a lot of times couples will say, "Oh, well, I have a birth certificate. That's really all I have to submit to show that I have a bona fide marriage." You would think, right? I mean, honestly, I think you would think, but no, you have to submit more documents than just your children's birth certificate. Right. I wish it were the case that would just be on the top and then they would just stamp approval on it. But no, you need to show bills and leases and mortgage payments and taxes and car insurance.
A child together is not.
Child together is like, whatever. That's not a real marriage. Please put more than just your children's birth certificate. I know no one here asked that question, but
yeah, we're just completely off on a tangent now. Let's get
back it's to important though. There are a lot of people here who are doing marriage cases. All right.
That was all going back to Kay's J1 question.
This is the entertainment portion of
That's right.
the program. All right. Let's see here. How long is the wait for visa interview? Mom's documents have been good since February. So Joey says, what's the deal here? Mom is waiting for an interview. I'm going to say Joey's mom is from the Philippines, just from the last name in the photo. There's a massive visa interview backlog right now, and especially in the Philippines. So February, it's really not that long with this backlog. So Joey, mom, you can expect mom to wait many, many more months to get that visa interview. I'm sorry to say that. And for everyone whose family members are documentarily qualified at the NVC and you got that notification, you can be sitting there for a good while. I am so sorry to say. Yeah. And I can't give you a time frame because it's unknown. It's slow, very slow. The backlog, the last time I checked a month ago, is about 400,000 people waiting who have been DQ'd and waiting for an interview, and they're only processing about 30,000 per month. So, and they keep loading up with the DQs. Hopefully that helps. It's not the information that you want to hear, Joey, but it is hopefully helpful. All right. What do we have?
We have a question over here that needs some more facts added to it, but the general question is, I have temporary residence, but my husband mistreats me. If I leave, will they deport me right away?
No.
Yeah, I think the answer is definitely no. I'm curious about, exactly what the residence is that's temporary, but
yeah. So you have probably the 2-year green card, right? The 2-year green card, and the question that, and the issue that a lot of people in this situation, you're in a marriage that's not working out, or maybe Here, it's mistreatment or perhaps abuse. I mean, you don't have to stay in that marriage and relationship in order to get your conditions removed on your 2-year card and get the 10-year green card. So there are definitely ways forward where you're not stuck. And the main thing that you have to show is that when you entered in to that marriage, when you guys got married, that it was a real marriage when you entered into that marriage and it just didn't work out.
Right.
And the bottom line is, what documents do you have to prove that it was a real marriage and relationship?
Yeah, and if you're in a situation like this would, this would be a good situation to reach out to us. Generally speaking, if you're in a marriage where, and we see this from time to time, where basically you've got an immigration process that's pending, and the petitioner starts to use it as a leverage point. They are trying to leverage that, and they're constantly threatening that, well, then I'll have you deported. We hear that all the time, and that's really not the system. So if you're in a situation like that where you feel like, gosh, this person treats me terribly, but I'm afraid to do anything because then they're gonna retaliate by not letting me finish this immigration case, reach out to us and we'll let you know what the options are. Okay. Oh, Lakeisha's in Fort Lauderdale.
Fun times. Not only it's party time.
Yeah.
As one of our very good friends and neighbors says, party time. Fort Lauderdale. Sounds like a blast. Hashtag photos forever. Love you too. All right, let me see here if we've got any other questions. I think I've wait, hold on. Did we get this question already?
We did.
Wait, I'm missing some questions here. Hold on. All right, Donna says, I'm going to take this off the screen now. Donna says, my girlfriend and her daughter are here in the U.S. right now as a tourist. My girlfriend and I have been together for a few years now, and we're actually planning to get married. If we would get married while she's here and we apply for her adjustment of status, do we also need to apply for adjustment of status for her daughter? Her daughter is 21 months old. Answer is yes, if you want daughter to be a lawful permanent resident along with her mom. And if you need help with that, let us know. If you are a lawful permanent resident and seeking to do adjustment of status with your significant other who has entered the United States on a tourist visa, be careful with intent, be careful with timing. If you're a U.S. citizen, actually the same tip to you guys out there.
And we mention this every week as well, that if you're here on a visa like that and you happen to get married, then that does provide a pathway for you. But as Radlyn just said, that can't be your intention. You can't just decide, oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a tourist visa. And then when I get there, I'll just get married. That's my plan. If that's the plan you lay out, then you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, you could have an issue there. All right. Do you want to grab the another question?
Because that would be illegal, even though we're telling you that it will also work later if
right. It all just depends.
How exactly. And here on TikTok, now this really is not legal advice. These are just fellow TikTokers. All the fellow TikTokers are telling Kay on the J1 to get married to a U.S. citizen. So,
some people ask me, like, should I get married? Is that the easiest way? I don't know. Marriage can be really hard.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Andrew, this may be a referral situation. He says, what do I need to bring with me to get married in the Philippines if I was married before?
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of steps in order to get married in the Philippines. Andrew, is that Andrew?
Yep.
Andrew, join our Live Love Immigration page. We're going to have something on that soon. We have partnered up with, not partnered, I don't want to make it sound like it's a partnership, but we have, what's another word? We have found a great referral source in the Philippines to help our clients who are going through things like who need assistance in the Philippines with general legal stuff.
Yeah, Radlyn went
So-
to the Philippines a couple weeks ago to have a face-to-face sit down with a law firm over there and the folks who run it to create a referral path, because we do have clients who have issues that are not immigration, that they may be immigration clients or potential clients. They have legal issues that come up that involve things like marriage, divorce, annulment, property, contracts, things of that nature that are in the Philippines, that need to be dealt with in the Philippines. And we're not licensed to practice in the Philippines. We don't do Philippine law. So we can put you in touch with those folks.
Right. Okay. Possibly the last question, just depending on how many words I say. I can keep talking.
We already did this one though.
Did we? Was that from TikTok?
Oh, this is did Francesca have another question?
I'm not sure.
This must be a separate question.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay. I am 30 years old. This is Francesca's question, guys. Listen up. It's important. I'm 30 years old. My baby is 2 years old from the Philippines. We are in California on a tourist visa. My fiance is a U.S. citizen. Should we get married and do adjustment of status ASAP, as soon as possible? Everybody knows what ASAP means. I don't know why I said that. How long will it take to get our green card for me and my kid? So it depends on what city you are in California. It depends on the field office. Definitely. Well, I'm not going to say definitely. It's going to take a couple of years. But in the interim, if you do file for adjustment of status while you're here on your tourist visa, you can apply for work authorization as well as permission to travel abroad while this process is pending. That is taking about 1 year after filing. And to answer your question about whether you should get married ASAP, it depends. I can't let you know whether you should. I would need more information about when you came in and the manner in which you came in and your intent on coming in, and whether you should get married ASAP and file this process or not, or whether it even is the right process for you and whether you are even eligible to undergo this process. Generally speaking, a person with these facts are eligible to adjust status if you entered with inspection, but there are other factors to consider as to when you should file and whether you should file. So Francesca, amazing question, because this is the type of case that we do all the time. Mm-hmm. And as far as a lot of people who are watching and listening and going to watch this later, it's a question that they have as well. So all of these questions are great.
Yep. And G's going to make an appointment to see us next week.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right. So we have one more minute. And do you want to grab a fantastic question on TikTok? Our friends on TikTok. Guys, we really appreciate your questions on TikTok. Thank you for always joining us, bringing all the questions and all of the love on TikTok, and from you guys too.
And by the way, Roses, who was one of the first questions that we answered, said, "Thank y'all."
Thank y'all.
Very welcome. Okay, so Christopher wants to know, is it safe to apply for a visitor visa if I have a pending I-130 category F2B? Is there any risk?
A risk of denial. I didn't mean to be funny. Sorry, did that come out?
Any
it's
risk,
one. It's
anything jeopardizing the pending I-130? Do you think that's a problem?
So the issue is you have a pending I-130 petition in the F2B category. That does take a long time, depending on when you filed it. And when you apply for a tourist visa, you have a different intent, right? Your intent is to be a non-immigrant, but you've already filed an immigrant visa for yourself. So one of the things that we sometimes see is a person who has a pending petition, or even just no petition, family members in the United States, do not reveal all of the facts on the application, maybe kind of fudge on during the interview as to, what's going on. And then when you're here on that tourist visa and then the visa becomes available and current, you can't apply for it because you made misrepresentations that were material and you would have never been here in the first place had you told the truth. So the risk is that it's probably going to get denied, but the bigger risk is possibly inadvertently or outright making a misrepresentation. So just be careful with that. If you do apply for that tourist visa, just make sure you put all of the information that you are the beneficiary of an immigrant petition, that you do have family members in the United States, and just put it all out there if you really want to move forward with the tourist visa. It's probably not going to get approved, but sometimes it does. So good luck with that. And that's a great one to end the note.
And Lisa says here that she'll contact us soon. Thank you for the information. God bless.
Oh, thank you.
bless
Look,
you
and
for your
Francesca said it was fun. See, it is entertaining.
All right, everyone.
All right.
Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week, Friday at 12 o'clock. Bring your immigration questions. You've got the questions, and we've got answers.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. We'll
Bye,
see you
guys,
then.
and follow us on the
Thanks, guys.
socials.